Welcome back to another episode of The Drink. And this month, as you guys know, I am hosting the Brown Skin Girl Project on my podcast, which is so exciting. And I'm really happy to be doing this, to do kind of like a collab thing. And today, my guest is Taylor Maddox.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh my goodness. I'm really excited, you guys. She is a fashion designer here in Chattanooga. Actually, I'm not even going to introduce. I do this all the time. I try to introduce. I'm like, why am I doing this when they could just introduce themselves? So Taylor, I want you to introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, and what your passion in your craft is.
Sorry, I have cheese and toasties in my mouth. Well, yes, I'm Taylor Maddox. Yeah, here in chat, I'm mostly known as a fashion designer, but I also do graphic design. And very recently, I've been going into the film world, so creative direction and actually directing. But I also do a lot of other things like brand design and stuff like that. But I mostly just go as fashion, graphic, and director. But yeah.
I wish you guys. I mean, I'm probably gonna ask Taylor for this footage so you guys can see the struggle. She has a mic so you guys can hear it clearly. I do not, so it's okay. This is what the drink is all about: is being vulnerable and raw and real. So these are the struggles that you go through as a creative. So I want to know what spurred this on in your life. Like, what made you say, I want to do graphic design and then clothing design? Like, what pushed you to do that?
Well, literally a lifelong journey. When I was younger, I always wanted to be a fashion designer. But my dad is one of those dads who's just like, you got to push yourself harder. You have a lot of people trying to go down this road, and I don't really see you excelling yourself or whatever. Not really like that all the time.
Yeah.
But fashion design was one of the things I really wanted to do. I was sketching all the time. And, with parents who have artistic kids, they're like, we want you to sustain yourself. You're not going to make money being an artist. And so kind of took a break from wanting to be a fashion designer. But to close that thought, I had been sketching ever since I could pick up a pencil. And I started making clothes between the age of 9 and 12. Took a break from that because it was frustrating as hell. And then I went to Italy for college for a year. I spent a year over there. And I took some sewing classes, like fashion and tailoring. And then that kind of revived it. But and then the pandemic hit, and that's when I launched my business. Rewind all the way back to high school. I spent my whole life trying to figure out what is a good job I can get artistically that will show my parents I'll be okay. Found a job of being an art director, creative director, but for a magazine or something. And because being an artist, you don't really have a set path. You have to make it yourself. And so one of the jobs listed underneath it was graphic designer. Did not want to spend my whole life in front of a computer, but I was like, you know what, this is the job that I want. And when I get to that point, I won't have to be in front of the computer. I'll be able to do what I want and be flexible. Yeah. And so I went to college to be a graphic designer. I'm glad that I did it though, because it really taught me the basic rules of being an artist, and it goes into everything from fashion design to film. It's really fundamental. And then, but also to rewind, my whole life I've been really passionate about movies all the time. That's all I really loved. But I didn't want to get into it because I thought it would when you try to change your hobby into
until your career,
and then it just becomes a task that you don't even enjoy anymore. Yeah. And so, and I also just didn't believe that I would be fit in the film life, even though it's something that I spent most of my time doing. I would go and do research on the directors to the actors and how they got into acting and all the other movies they're in. And then even the score and stuff like that. So that's what I currently got into after the pandemic. In college, I'd work on in the yearbook and I'd do photo shoots and stuff. Love being on sets. But recently is when I got opportunities. My friend Benita, she brought me on set one time to work as a PA. And then from then on, I've just been getting all these opportunities to do things because when I launched my own business in the pandemic, I was doing all those things for myself. So I was doing everything from making the clothes to making the photo shoots and editing the videos and stuff like that. And now I'm getting to do it for other people, which is great. And a couple months ago, I would have been saying, now the goal is to get paid for it. Now I'm getting paid for it. And so,
oh my goodness, that's
everything is coming into place, and it's kind of like the pandemic was hard for the most part, yes, but it was definitely the universe, God, and life saying like, all right, you prepared yourself to go down a route that you really didn't want to go down. Now you get what you wanted. So I became a fashion designer and getting into film. And so that's my life right now, and it's really crazy, and I'm extremely grateful.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, a jumbled up answer, but
no, not jumbled at all. Oh my gosh, I love like the development of your story. Sorry, I forgot I have to use it.
It'll be like very far away.
Hello. Yeah, it'll be far away and like kind of muffled. I love the development of your story. Mm-hmm. You had so many pieces, and like you just kept going. And I was like, oh my gosh, that piece, and I like with that piece. And
it's like, oh no.
So it's oh no, we're sliding. Hi.
Y'all seeing the footage?
Oh no. I love the piece that you were saying about how, first of all, another Black woman, Vanita.
Yes.
Who you guys will also get to know. I think Taylor will go first in the segment, so you'll go first. You guys will get to know Vanita as well because she signed up for this. I love that another Black woman put you on, basically.
Yes.
And was like, I'm not going to just pull this opportunity for myself. I know someone who's also passionate about these things, and I'm going to bring her on. Because there's too many times where we as Black women see an opportunity and we don't want the other person to succeed or to thrive or to experience these things.
Right.
So, I love that she did that. One. So I was like, oh, there's just like little bits and pieces of this that I love.
She literally did it for that reason too. She was like, no, I'm trying to get all of us in because it was also a company that they're wanting to get more inclusive with culture and they're wanting to change up the scene a little bit, or not change up the scene, but include more diversity on their sets. And so, yeah, she's like, they're wanting this, and I was going to do it anyways. So
yeah, and I love that opportunity. It provided more for you. It was like, I experienced this, and then I'm now being asked to do more, and now not only just asked to do more, I'm getting paid to do it. And so I say, like, if you're watching this and you are like, I'm kind of in that boat actually, so me being in that boat of like constantly pushing to do something and like wanting to get paid for it, like, you're like a living testimony of like, it is possible through hard work and through just honestly being yourself.
Yeah, no, for real. And that's like mentally, to get the things that you want, you really have to imagine yourself already there. And being people of color, especially, like, it's hard for us to imagine those things because we just never phantom the idea of getting those type of opportunities. So I had to try really hard and like basically like say, no, I deserve this. I work hard for this. Like, I do this stuff all the time in my free time. Like, I deserve to be paid. To the point where I was turning away jobs because they weren't paying me how much I feel it's worth. Because that's the next step. Like, yeah, do things for free. Yeah, you'll start getting paid. But at the same time, know your worth. Because if you keep accepting jobs that are, like, at low paying, you will stay there forever. Because people will be like, oh, so-and-so can do this job for you because she's really she's really cheap, da-da-da-da-da. And then when you start upping your prices, people will be like, oh, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
But no, you got to start at a very early, well, I'm starting at a very early time in my life because like I know the worth and the amount of time I put into the things that I do because I try and aim for perfection as much as possible, clean stuff, and like I always set the status at like New York, like what will fly in New York, and so that's awesome.
No, as you should. Like, I think that's so important, and I feel like we all. Oh, and that was another thing I think that you were saying too. It's like you said so many things, and I was like, I'm trying to like catch them all.
I'm sorry.
So no, you're saying such great stuff. Oh, hi. And we're gonna keep sliding.
This will be like the whole interview.
It'll be the whole interview. It's fine. I think there was a point in which you were talking about. Oh shoot, this slipped my mind again. It's like you keep saying something, and I'm like, yes. It's bringing it back. You were saying you were setting standards, like you were envisioning yourself doing these things. Knowing your worth. Oh, it's gonna come to me probably at the end or like after this interview, and then I'll just have to like put it in a side segment or something. I can't think. Yeah. No, yes.
Anything on the menu?
Oh, did you want to get that?
Oh yeah. Can we get the white corn cream puffs?
And what's your name?
Ryan.
Ryan? Alright, you're gonna have your name in the interview.
Sure. What podcast are you doing?
So it's called The Drink.
The Drink?
Mm-hmm. This episode won't air till like May. It's like I'm trying to like stack up on episodes.
What subject you guys talking about?
So I do like a yearly segment where I just interview women of color and like what they do. So Taylor here is clothing designer, graphic designer, director, just all sorts of things. Yeah, so we're getting into like all of her journey in that and stuff.
Nice.
Are you centralized here in chat? Or are you like
Yeah.
down in Atlanta?
Well, I'm originally from Miami, so I'm eventually trying to get back there. Like, but not to stay there, you know, just trying to travel around. But chat is the place that gave me all these opportunities. So yeah, here is where I am.
Well, I'm glad for your success so far.
Well, thank you.
What's the best for you moving forward?
Well, thank you so much. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll get the quick started.
Sweet.
Thank you. Oh, it's still not coming back to me, and I can't remember.
Oh, you were talking about how I was like basically manifesting and trying to visualize
and
self-worth.
I think there was something you were saying about. Oh my gosh, it's gonna kill me, Taylor.
I'll start rephrasing like black women or black people of color. Like it's hard for us to envision us in those positions because we've never really been in these type of spots to like, you know.
It's gonna come to me at the end. It's fine. You literally said something so specific because it hit me, and I think maybe that was what it was because I feel like a lot of black girls will find, or just not even black women, women of color, people of color, we find ourselves like again like in that same cycle. We were kind of talking about this earlier.
Yes.
How we were like people just get stuck in those same cycles. Kind of how you were saying too. People get in that same cycle of like, well, should we do this for free or for like whatever?
Yes.
And it's like, okay, but now that I've been doing this for a long time.
And it's not even like you have to do it for a long time.
Or just like, I know the value in my work.
Yeah, because like, people can easily tell, no, I ripped a hole in my stockings. I hate that.
Oh no.
But yeah, the struggle of wearing stockings.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, people can easily say that, oh yeah, you're young, like you can work your way up to it. People think that it's like you have to be in the game for years and years and years. But no, like if you know that what you're doing, like if you see, like for me, I would see somebody else put something else out. Whatever the quality is, I have my opinions on it. And I find out how much they got from it, like compensated for it. And I know my worth for it. I'm also including all the student loans and stuff that I put down to get all this type of education, all the years that I have spent working on it, and also the level of it, because like, yeah, you can compare yourself, like how I rate myself really and truly, like when it comes to like fashion things, I'll see how much it's worth and I'll add $20 on it. Because, or 20% on it.
Okay.
Because it's kind of like a mindset. It's like, yes, this is high end, this is quality, like I'm putting time into it. I'm not just grabbing stuff and putting it together. Like I'm studying, I'm doing my research, and I'm making sure that this is what I think it is and this is what I'm presenting it to be. And so if you know that you're putting out good quality stuff because you are researching and looking and paying attention to what's around you, at the same time, minding your own business, because we gotta mind our own business here.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, no, like add that 20% on, and that just sets a status. Like, yeah, there are a lot of jobs that people like will take away from me. Like, oh, I'm looking for a little more affordable. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, because well, then you're gonna get that kind of work. No offense.
Exactly.
Because sometimes, get it. Look, I'm a creative, so sometimes when I'm looking for something, I'm like, I really can't afford it in the budget. It's not that I don't want that person, and I don't think that they're valuable. Right. Sometimes you just can't afford it.
That,
and that's hard.
And you don't want to insult people by asking them to like down their prices. Like I realized that I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna ask you to do anything you don't want to do. I really respect you as an artist.
Yes, and you can say that, I feel like, without it coming off like YouTube. Yeah,
no, I tell people all the time, I really don't want to insult you, but this is my budget. If you're not okay with that, that's fine. We can revisit on another day. And yeah, it's all cool.
Once we get this money and then I'll come back.
Right. It's just manifesting, like, I will be able to afford you one day.
Yes.
As of right now, like, I am looking for favors.
Yeah.
Like, that's what Vanita and I are doing when it comes to C, but we're very close to getting out of that phase. Because it's like, you're doing these things, but also like setting the standards and expectations. Like, this isn't going to be a forever thing. Like, I want to pay people. I want to get paid. Like, it's like, I want to do for other people what I want them to do for me, basically.
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry, I keep on.
No, you're fine. No, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is answering all the questions. So you kind of answered this a little bit, like moving forward, like you guys, you're envisioning, going back that route into Miami.
Yes.
I asked this question too, and I like it when people naturally answer it without it being like not saying that you can't have set goals or anything, but I feel like, one, I don't want anybody to expose their plans prematurely, especially if you're not comfortable with that, because I definitely will not try. And I get that some things are just like for you, and you're like, I want to reach this, but on my own terms without anybody knowing, and then when I reach it, I'm gonna say something.
Right.
Like, I did this, I wanted this to happen. But I guess like within this next year, what do you? I guess where do you think you'll be within this next year?
Well, I would hope to be getting paid consistently and having a consistent income. But I told myself, because I quit my job last year, October, and I started working freelance and for myself, like as a business owner, like full time.
That's such a big step.
It is a big step, and it was very scary. But like the day that I quit, literally the hour I was asked to do Chattanooga Hip Hop Summit, I was asked to do a custom corset piece, which ended up not happening. But it was just so many like signs that was telling me like you were supposed to do this, like you're on the right path. So this year I was like, because the universe and God will always give you these opportunities to like propel yourself forward. But after a while.
Oh, the cream puffs. Yes. Ooh, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You got it? You got everything else you need at the moment?
Thank you.
But after a while, they'll be like, all right, well, we got you this far, and now you got to start putting in the work, because God likes healthy workers. He doesn't like helping people just sit down and wait for things to come.
Yeah.
He, they, she, But, so I told myself this is the year that I'm going to, be my own sustainer for myself.
Wow.
So how that looks exactly, I try not to get really nitpicky, because I also realize that when I try and like really hone in on like what I want, things don't really happen as naturally. So I kind of just try to accept and see where things are coming from. So like, but also laying down the tracks to make that happen. So like, I'm getting more active on social media so that I get more opportunities. I'm starting to create more. Starting to basically show my talents, because like I hope people know that I'm busy, but they don't really know what I'm doing. So I'm trying to like start to film everything that I'm doing. By the end of the year, like specifically, I don't know.
Like you could be anywhere.
Right, I could really be anywhere. Like just the goals that I had, I wanted to start traveling more, travel for business. I'm a nomad by heart. I like to travel around. And I'm also a minimalist, and so, less
you give off that vibe in a very nice way.
Thank you. And so, like, I don't want to be doing, like, all these, like, small jobs, like, different things. Like, I'm working with the companies I'm working with now, but I'm doing, like, rather than, because, like, last year, I was doing so many different avenues. I'm like, I really just want to be here now. So, fashion and film. And so I'm trying to strengthen in those areas, whether like that means I'm getting blessed with doing a music video. I have a music video on my plate right now, and I'm really excited about that. And so if when that comes out, I get more job opportunities, that would be amazing. I'm also working on a promo video for the Five Guys outfit that I made. If y'all don't know about it, y'all should check it out on my Instagram. And so I'm working on that promo video, and it's been like almost over a year now. It is over a year. But once that comes out, who knows? Five Guys may pick me up.
Okay, no,
that'd
for
be
real.
cool.
That would be amazing.
That'd be really
it's
cool.
Not out of reach. Like, I think people, when they do something like that, you should have the expectation that like it's going to be seen.
Right.
And
And
I have the expectation that when I put on an outfit, And if I have a Telfar bag or if I'm wearing Savage Fenny, that they're gonna see it.
Right.
And
so,
it may just be alike, but if you keep doing it, like, and you're consistent, you never know. They could be like, I could be hitting you up like, hey, hold up.
Exactly.
I can see you looking cute in my stuff. Like,
and so sometimes I try to be modest about things, but like with that and with like getting yourself into the mindset, you really have to be like, no, I do deserve this.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, trying to do that because out of like I really want to be a humble person, but trying to balance that out can be a lot.
It's a balance. Okay, so a couple more questions. One is, tell us 3 random facts about yourself.
3 random facts. That's hard because I'm a very random person. So I'm like, out of all the things in my head right now.
Yes, tell us.
I really don't know. I used to be an athletic person growing up. Like, I was on the soccer team from, like, 4th grade all the way to 9th grade. Softball team from, like, I was being trained to be the pitcher for high school. So I was in there from, like, 6th grade to 8th grade, to 9th grade. And then I was on the gymnastics team. All that to say, I was training for the Olympics at one point. But for swimming, because I was really good at it. I had won a swimming competition in, like, junior high? Yeah, junior high. It was a backstroke. And I was like, oh, I'm actually pretty good at this. Yeah. So I started to, like, train with my grandpa because he's a Jamaican man that can do anything. As most Jamaican parents are. They do everything. And it came down to, like, because I was growing out my locks. And it was causing a drag, which was making me slower. So I'm like, I either have to cut off my hair or go to the Olympics. And I was like, the chances of me going to the Olympics is like lower than my hair be going down my back. So I'm gonna keep my hair and I'm gonna let this stream. Yeah. That's a random fact. Whether it be like something that was actually seriously considered or or just a dream.
No, for sure.
I'm trying to think of other things. I haven't met anyone famous.
For real?
Yeah.
Never?
No.
That's gonna change soon. I get a vibe that it's gonna change very soon.
I hope so. I really wanted to meet Prince, and then he passed away. I really thought I was going to meet him and Michael Jackson.
Oh.
Yeah. It's all right, though. It's all right. But, what is something? I don't know.
It could be anything. It could be, like, favorite color. It could be favorite food. It could be...
favorite color, favorite food.
It could be... Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love, my top 3 cuisines, Indian food, Mexican food, and Greek. Love. Can't really count Jamaican. I am Jamaican.
Okay, so
yeah.
There you go.
That is one thing, though. I'm 3rd generation mixed. And so, like, on both sides.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, my grandpa, he's half white, half black, and Cherokee Indian in there, because every American is Cherokee Indian.
Yeah, we're mixed with something.
Right.
Yes.
And then my dad, of course, is like a 4th white, black, Cherokee Indian, passed down to me. My grandma on my mom's side, she is Moroccan and Sicilian and Jamaican. And then my grandpa, just a Jamaican man. And then my mom got those 2, and then me.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love seeing, like, family, like, just a mixture of, there's so much culture in that, and it's just, like, really rich.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's important to me because, like, growing up, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm black. Growing up in Miami, because, like, everyone in Miami is Caribbean or Hispanic.
Yeah.
And then moved up here, and I was like, oh, like, talking to an African-American friend, I'm like, oh, what are you having? And he's like, I'm just black. Like, you're not Jamaican, you're not Haitian or anything?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is new.
No,
never experienced that.
Yeah.
And I realized, I'm like, oh, I am mixed. I'm not just black, I'm like 2 different types of black.
Yeah.
And so,
that totally matters. Yeah, I don't know what, I know when people ask me, they're like, what black are you? I'm like, I'm like, my dad is from St. Okay? And then my mom is Filipino. Right. So I'm like, I get the black and then I get the Asian. That's my mix. So, yeah. That's awesome though. I love it. You got a lot of good heritage and culture in you. Okay, the last thing is, so the drink is all about, I don't know if you know like the root of the drink, but basically the drink, or the word drink is a word for like a body of water, such as the ocean, and which I'm in love with the ocean. So that mixed with the fact that we can, as a verb, drink in water, or like wisdom and things that we are told and we take it in. So I put those two things together to form this podcast. And so I want to know from you, what's a piece of wisdom that you've been holding on to recently that you would like to share with the rest of us?
Sheesh. That is a heavy question. Because little do most people know, I don't know, 2 years ago I was like launched into a spiritual awakening, and then a whole bunch of things happened. And that was from like pain. That was honestly created from myself, of not self-loving and paying attention to myself, and, you know, all those things that everyone should be doing. But in that, I had a lot of seasons of a lot of lessons. And so that's where I'm like, yo, out of the past 2 years, all the seasons, all the lessons I've learned, which ones can I remember right now? I say be real with yourself, because that's where it starts. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, I'm organized. And then you'll like go into the room, it's clean, but you open up the drawers and it's messy. Mm. It's like, are you really organized?
Not her phone deal.
No. But currently that's me right now. Because like I just moved into like the place where I'm living right now. And with my boyfriend, I should say that, because I'm really happy about it. But with that, like I'm kind of giving myself time to like settle in before I start organizing things, and like, you know, so it's clean, but like when I organize the inside, you know, that reflects that like, okay, I am ready to live here type thing. And so be real with yourself. That's where it starts. You can say you're a good designer, but are you really a good designer? If you really zoom in closely, are the pictures up? And so, because like the res tells everything. It shows like how much work you actually put into it, the clean edges and all that stuff.
Wow.
That patience is a virtue. People always say that, but honestly, like patience, because mentally, I don't know how most people are, but mentally I'm already where I want to be. Mm-hmm. And then when you realize that your body isn't there yet, you have to be patient. Yeah. Because if you start focusing on where your body is at, you start messing up your future.
Heard that.
Heard.
No, truly. I'm like, she's speaking to me right now, because every day I'm like, I'm a famous interviewer. I have my own big old podcast. And here we are with the camera sliding down and my mic's not working. So here we go.
Yeah, no, I feel that. That be with yourself, be patient, and be open-minded. Honestly, I pray for that a lot of the time. So I'm like, God, please open my mind. Show me what you want me to see. Am I missing something? Yeah. What was I'm trying to remember. I was here at Easy Bistro with Genesis the Gray. Mm-hmm. And we were putting up one of his paintings. We were talking about something, and the whole table was just full of like Black creators, super wise. And I shared with them a little bit of what I was going through, like the launch of my spiritual awakening. And they said something, and I was like, that is the lesson of my season right now. And I can't remember for the life of me. But something that keeps reoccurring to me, what my current lesson is grace. Have grace on yourself. Because like, especially for creators and like people who are perfectionists and like really like push ourselves to like be the best versions of ourselves that we can be, like we can like spend hours like beating ourselves up, but like I could have did this, I could have did that, and then you see someone else did it, and it's like you feel like you're not really worth it, but like you got to give yourself grace, because it's you and yourself at the end of the day. And like if you're talking nasty to yourself, like who's gonna love you? Who's gonna show you how you really need to be talked to and stuff like that? And so,
beautiful.
Yeah, that's all I can say right now. All I can think about.
I love it. This has been so sweet. I feel like this is, I don't want to say my favorite, okay, because all of my interviews are my favorite, but I think aesthetic-wise, if I could have every interview with like a plate of like charcuterie and like, I've never had these spring puffs before, we're going to try them. Like, this is very lovely. And I love it because when we walked in, Taylor was like, this is kind of like one of the places that she like manifests like being able to eat at and like be in all the time, like the atmosphere she wants to be in. And I freaking love that. Taylor, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I love this. This is just the sliding phone and everything. It's perfect. No, it's totally perfect. Like it's totally. I tell my listeners all the time. I'm like, if you hear my dog in the background, I'm just kind of like babbling along, and like this is what the podcast is for. It's literally just me being myself and not putting the pressure on myself to be a certain type of way to be a podcaster. I'm just being myself. So, and you're being yourself, and I appreciate it. So, this has been another episode of The Drink, hosting the Brown Skin Girl Project. I'm your host, Mishy, once again, and this is Taylor. Oh, and
My voice
and I will see you on the next episode of The Drink.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.